Everyone says to become a supply chain manager, you have to work your way up the ladder. I didn't do that. Here's why. Working your way up the ladder is silently killing your career. And the reason for this doesn't really have a lot to do with supply chain. It's a people problem. Now, usually in supply chain, we try to be systems focused and not blame people for problems where processes or a lack of. A lot of the time in supply chain, if you have a problem, it's a systems problem, not a people problem. However, systems are run and controlled by people. So every so often you do get genuine people problems. And in the topic of today's video, this might be the biggest people problem out there. If you didn't catch it at the very start of the video, the problem is the old-fashioned ethos of work your way up the ladder. This simply doesn't work for supply chain managers. Let me explain. I've said in previous videos that supply chains are essentially broken down into 3 pillars: procurement, inventory management, and logistics. And although I'm not about to go back on what I said, I do need to be clear that this is a simplification. And no one person in a medium-sized company could run an entire pillar by themselves. It would be a small team at the very least. And when you move up in company sizes, you may even see whole teams dedicated to offshoots of one of the 3 pillars. For example, I once did an interview at a relatively small company who had decided to have, as well as the required supply chain staff, a small team of just inventory analysts. The point I'm trying to make here is that there are so many roles within supply chain, not just a few. The term supply chain role covers everything from procurement analyst to delivery driver, which I don't need to tell you are 2 very different jobs. So when we loop the work your way back up the ladder ethos into this, we encounter 2 problems. The first problem is, which path do you take? If you were to pick one of the thousands of leaves on a tree and then follow down the branch, you will eventually get to the tree trunk. But how can you pick the fastest or more reliable route just by looking at the leaves? You may be able to navigate this first problem, as it is a systems problem after all, but the second problem is really what this video is all about. The real problem with working your way up the ladder in supply chain is behavior and personality types. Let's imagine for a minute that you had a supply chain career path mapped out for you by a manager. Lucky you. Let's say your starting job was purchasing administrator, then you were moving onto a purchasing role, sometimes referred to as a buyer. I think this job title is a big punch in the gut, but let's just move past that for now. After a few years of buying, you will have learnt the suppliers and how demand is handled in the business. So they plan to give you the role of inventory manager. After a good many years later, way more than what they tell you, you might be able to score the role of supply chain manager. You can call your mum to tell her you've made it. Here comes the problem with all of this. Each one of these stepping stones requires a totally different skill set from the last. Purchasing administrators are required to perform the same task repeatedly without error, be highly organised, and be good with numbers. Basically a robot with a smile. A buyer, I know I said I hate it, but I don't have an alternative. Buyers need to be good at decision making, communication, and supplier management. Supplier management is an elite skill, and I will make another video on this. Buyers also need to understand basic operations of MRPs. Now, inventory managers need to have an advanced knowledge of MRPs. They need to be analytical, need to understand markets, risk management, cost evaluation, like total cost of ownership, customs duties, and tariffs. Thank you, Trump. And they also need to be good at staff management. Supply chain managers need an extensive knowledge of procurement, inventory, and logistics, an extensive knowledge of MRPs, excellent communication skills, because you are now the problem solver, and intermediate understanding of finance, just to list a few. Hopefully now it's clear that each supply chain role has a unique skill set that doesn't necessarily prepare you for the next rung of the ladder that you're aiming for. Each of these roles requires people with specific behavior and personality types that match the type of role. You wouldn't put someone who's great at negotiating but hates details in a purchasing administrator role, but they would be great fit for a buyer. If you followed the work your way up approach and put that person in the purchasing administrator role, they'd quit before you even got the chance to offer them the next job. This is why working your way up does not work. Now, to the people in this situation who are feeling the pain of this problem right now, here's my advice to you. Get a notepad and a pencil. Give yourself some time to sit down with no distractions. And what you need to do is take inventory of yourself. You need to ask yourself, what do I like and what am I good at? Also note down the type of work that you like to do, whether that's staring at spreadsheets or stocking shelves. And finally, write down your dream job right now. Pause the video and do this right now. It shouldn't take too long to do. Okay, now you've got that, let's take a look at what you've written down. We have a basic personality profile, what you like and what you're good at. And we have a basic behavior profile, what type of work you like to do. And we also have a goal, your dream job. With the above information, you'll be able to map out the career path you need to take to obtain the skills required to achieve your dream job. This is similar to working your way up the ladder, but with 4 critical differences. Number 1, we have access to multiple ladders. You can jump between different departments, companies, industries, or even countries. This method works without staying in one company. Number 2, you can skip as many rungs as you like. If you can score a job from warehouse operator straight to purchasing manager based on the skills you've learned externally, go for it. Number 3, use your personality and behavior profile to pick jobs that suit you and that you will enjoy. This is how you avoid quitting, zero progression, and burnout. Number 4, this is dangerous when used properly. You can go down rungs of the ladder. Now, hear me out. I can feel you cringing at the thought of that, but that's where the power is. Going from an inventory manager down to a warehouse supervisor, but in a much bigger and more progressive company, is 100% an upgrade in your skill potential. Quite often in smaller companies, you can have the flashy title without the skill to actually perform the required role to the full extent. You can essentially hide your skill set without revealing too much. Larger companies will bring your skill set on full show for everyone to see, which is great for someone who wants to learn from genuine experts and professionals. If you use the 4 steps I highlighted earlier, you can map out your ideal career path. Or you can wing it. I'm not your dad. Hopefully I've helped you understand why most people are wrong about your career and how to take control of your own supply chain destiny. If you still need my help or you're a business owner looking to improve your team's capabilities, visit my page and click on the relevant service you require. First link below the video. If not, click on the video pop up on the screen now. YouTube thinks you should watch this.